Hey guys, Astros Flame back with the Kaldheim information from the early release. We'll kind of call this a Kaldheim teaser, even though the set is officially out in Arena. The release is happening, but here's kind of the fun that I got to have in the early access, and maybe some deck ideas that you want to check out and try, and maybe further refine. Before we go on, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep up with all the Commander and MTG content. With that, let's get into the decks. So here in the first deck, we have the Izzet Giants. You'll have to excuse the pun. Had to do it. I made this deck with a couple buddies, Harding 33 and Roska Tyrant. All the decks we did are going to showcase in this video are things we worked on together during the early access. I wanted some group help, and I got some amazing ideas. This was the first one. This is basically Giant Tribal in Izzet. You know, Frost and Fire Giants coming together, battling it on, and doing what Giants do. Smash things. And realistically, that is kind of the end game we're going in with this deck. A lot of it kind of plays on removal and draw with, Battle of Frost and Fire. You're going in with some disruption of like Bone Crusher Giant, your invasion of the Giants for scrying and drawing and reducing cost, Shatter Skulls for land removal, and Squash just to hit something big. The real fun of this deck comes in, like I said, the giant package, obviously, because we're a giant deck. So, we're looking at Calamity Bear, doubling the damage that a permanent or player would take if it's a giant doing the source. Powering that with the Quakebringer, so you prevent life gain. Last Pool Mimic, so we can copy the Calamity Bear. And the little pièce de résistance for the deck, the Surtland Flinger. When this guy attacks, we sack a creature and basically fling it. That double damage with the Glass Pool Mimic copying the Calamity Bear, quadruple. Flinging something hits for 4 times the power. This was kind of the fun. We had a lot of blast playing this one. It actually did pretty good. We won a couple games with it and won. And on the top end, which was also nice, is we have like Cyclonic Rift on a body. That's not for Giants, Wizards, and Lands. And Cyclone Summoner, which is a 7-mana 7/7. Had a lot of fun with this deck. Think it could use some more refining, but flinging Giants was just a blast with it. So, this next deck is what we call Terror Reflection. Now, I got a lot of flack with this one during the early release. I misplayed like a ton. It's fine. It happens. We all do it. I still won, albeit with 1 life, but I won. That was the key and point. Basically, the deck is straightforward. We're again red-blue, but the key focus of what we do is Mystic Reflection. We're choosing target non-legendary creature, and the next time that one or more creatures or planeswalkers enters the battlefield this turn, they enter in as copies. So, we Mystic Reflection, our Terror of the Peaks, do take 3 damage, but it's worth it in the end, because then we Dwarven Reinforcements, which means our little 2/1s, now they're other terrors, we're smacking in for 10. And plus then some, because of the terror triggers. Kind of other stuff running in, we have Ulbar, the old form, kind of for more doubling, Brazen Borrowers for bouncing, some additional draw with the Omen of the Sea and Opt, Chilling Track and Spike Shield, so we can have a little disruption in play. And then Shipwreck Dowser, so you can sort of recycle your cards to keep things going and get additional Dowsers and build up a little bit of a blocker board. Land base, kind of straightforward. A lot of Izzet stuff, some cycling lands, just things to make sure we can really get to our combo in the quickest way possible. Like I said, I may have misplayed, still won. All it takes is that 1 health to win, and let me tell you, I swung with the Giant for 12 damage on turn 5. And it was a blast. Smashing, if you will. Now for me, this one is a personal favorite. It is Dragons. Y'all know I love Corvold, I love Jund, I love Dragons. I'm a sack player. Put them all together, and you get this beauty of a deck that I honestly think could use more work. But it has Dragons, so who am I to complain? Kind of doing in an early removal package with Blood Chief's Thirst and Eliminate. Going in with the Village Rites and Claim combo. Gilded Goose for some extra little mana regen. And Trail of Crumbs to make sure we have consistent draw and usage of our food tokens. A Crone War, so we can kind of take where our opponents got. Essica's Chariot, so it crews itself, giving us some other little creature outlets. And obviously, the dragons that make the game. Amherstern Predator, Goldspan Dragon, and the king himself, Corvold. A lot of fun with this deck. We did actually take the win. It was about a turn 6 win in the one game we did try with it. It was really quick, but it was a ton of fun. It kind of plays like early game Jund mid-range, you bring in, and honestly, like as soon as you slam like a Goldspan Dragon, your mana just accelerates. Those treasure tokens are insane. I do expect to be one of the cards that's really going to be standing out in this set, and I know a lot of decks are already trying to take advantage of it. I'm really also excited to see what Image Storm Predator is going to be. I don't think it's the most amazing dragon, but what I think it is a stable body that is an additional sack outlet that can grow. Mana Baths, using up all the pathways, kind of have basics and stuff. Just a really fun thing. I do want to try to optimize this list more, but it was a ton of fun. Alright, so in this one, again, Jund, I know Korvold, it looks similar. You're probably thinking, why is this guy showing us another Jund deck? Well, this one's playing in more into that Rakdos side. The discard package. We're running in our Kroxa, we're running in Woe Strider, we're even subbing in Ugin, God of Death, and Agadeems for some early recursion back. Basically, we're kind of looking top-end sack outlet, Image Storm Predator, Korvold, Crone War, so we're playing into that Rakdos Steel stuff. And our early front-end game, we're looking for disruption between Kroxa for forcing a discard. We're looking at Valky, so we can steal stuff from our opponent's hand to make use of it and get their Tibalt. And Ugin, so we just have a big body that's going to be slamming down, and we're maximizing the use of what's going in our graveyard. The Bone Crusher's in there for some removal, same for the Cardo's Wishes Return. We didn't do so hot with this build right away. It did feel a little bit slower. I do think it needs more into the discard package itself. I've been seeing a lot of decks lately kind of play with the initial front end package that we have in this particular build. I think it's got some more work to do. I do think the builds that are coming out are a lot more optimized than this. This was just early access. But I think there's something there in the strategy. Jund's been a very interesting deck in the meta as of late, sort of sitting in the tier 2 slot on the outskirts. But it's really starting to make a resurgence in and getting to be a powerhouse that can take down even things like Rule Adventures. And who knows what other new decks we're going to get. And being in red and black, we have a good versatile bit of tools to take care of things. Claim is still going to be an effective card here, especially with some of the gods being less than 3 mana. So I'm excited to see what this one's going to bring, but I had a blast. Okay, so this one was in Beam. This is the last deck we did during the early access. It's I Do the Thing. Basically, you do the thing. You Stonecoil Serpent for 0, you Tibalt's Trickery it, and then you get an Ugin on like turn 2. Turn 4 if it's like Tibalt's Trickery, your own Tibalt's Trickery. It's kind of funky, it's interesting. It does whiff. The deck's not good by any stretch. It's meme, but it's funny. I will say, I think it took us like 3 games to actually manage to get the turn 2 Ugin, but it was a slam when it happened. You're like Stonecoil for 0, hold your full control, pop in the Tibalt's Mastery, and then you're just praying. You're like, oh my god, let me see that Ugin. And then finally the deck starts going, and then you see it. That 8 cost slam me down, turn 2. My opponent at the time was just like hovering over, was like, what happened? What's going on? Best reaction I had. I did take this deck into Historic on Mythic Ladder, which was not smart by any stretch. I lost like 3%, but I switched Ugin out for Ulamog. Casting turn 2 Ulamog, very disgusting. It doesn't happen that often, but it was disgusting the time I did it. Worth 3% loss, 100%. Again, meme deck, if you want some fun, try this out. Otherwise, do not attempt this at all. Yeah. Friends, I hope you enjoy the sort of preview of the decks that we did during the early access. I hope you keep checking out more decks in the future. I'm going to be experimenting all this coming week with new stuff in the Jund era, obviously, and probably some Doom Foretold, because I've been really interested in that. So friends, like I said, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep up to date on all the Commander and MTG content. Keep believing, and I'll catch you next time.